About a month ago, there was a full moon, and I thought I would try using my Nikon Coolpix A1000 to take a picture of the moon. And I just left everything on full automatic, and things turned out really well. I, I zoomed all the way in, used the digital zoom even, and filled the frame with the moon, and I was quite pleased with the results. So I thought I would make a video about uh, shooting the moon, but I thought I'd take the opportunity to go ahead and explore using the RAW format and also shooting in manual mode. Now, when you shoot in RAW, you can no longer use the digital zoom, and so you're limited to the normal zoom. But that will still give you a very nice picture, and you can crop in and fill the frame. And in a second video, I will go through how to process the raw image using Nikon's software. And at first I was reluctant to try it. I watched a few YouTube videos, which I highly recommend. There are a number of them out there, and they're very educational and helpful. And it's not difficult, really isn't. So I'll explore that in a second video. So in this video, we'll get the camera set up, and we'll get all of the settings plugged in while we're here inside in the light, and it'll all be ready so that when we get out in the dark, we can just concentrate on taking the picture. I'm going to set the camera to save in RAW plus fine, so that'll give us both a raw image file and a JPEG file with the minimum 1 to 4 compression. When you just as a note, when you save images that way, those two images are tied together in the camera. So if you delete one image in the camera, you delete both of them. It automatically deletes both of them. So you should be aware of that. Just like there's a rule of thumb for taking pictures in full sun, the famous Sunny 16 formula, rule of thumb, where you shoot at f16 and the reciprocal of your ISO. So at ISO 100, you would shoot at 1/100th of a second at f16. That doesn't help us much with the A1000 because we don't have f16. The corollary for shooting a full moon is called the Looney 11, and with the full moon, there's a remarkable amount of light to work with, and so you shoot at f11 and the reciprocal of your ISO. So at ISO 100, you would shoot at 1/100th of a second and f11. But again, the A1000 doesn't stop down to f11. So we have to do a little math, very little math. The f11, well, f8, the smallest aperture for the A1000, is twice as much light as f11. So if we change our shutter speed to 1/200th of a second at ISO 100, then that brings us back into balance. So that's what we'll start with. ISO 100, 1/200th of a second, and f8. And those will be our settings. And that should give us a good starting point for shooting the full moon. One of the things that I do, I don't have a good, steady, sturdy tripod. To get around camera shake, I use a self-timer. Also, the manual says if you use a tripod, to turn off VR, vibration reduction, and I always do what I'm told, so we'll turn that off, and it'll work fine. All right, I think that's we're ready to jump into setting up the camera. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the dial on top to manual M. And then we're going to push the menu button. And right arrow and go down to the setup menu, left arrow, photo VR, we'll hit OK, down arrow and OK to turn that off. So now vibration reduction is off. So we'll click the back arrow to get out of that. So now we have our manual settings, and you'll notice that above each of these have yellow boxes. It tells you that which control you can use. You can use the on-screen touch screen controls, so we can adjust to 1/200th. Or you can use the on the f-stop, you can use the rotary. On this one you would use the adjustment on top. So we've got it on f8, which is small as we can go, 1/200th, and ISO 100. And we'll go back to menu. Image quality, there we go. So image quality, we'll hit OK. And right now it's set for normal. You can choose raw plus fine, or raw plus normal compression. We'll do raw plus fine. Okay, so now we've got that all set up. If you shoot in raw only, then when you're looking at your files in Windows, it's not going to give you any thumbnails. So it's helpful to have a JPEG version there with a thumbnail. The camera gives them both the same number, just a different extension, and then you can see what the picture is of. Okay, so now we're all set, and all we need to do is mount our camera to a tripod, go out when there's a moon visible, and there are apps and websites that will help you determine what time in your location the moon rises and sets and when it's full and stuff. Okay. Okay, one more item that I decided that I want to throw in, and that is manual focus. We'll press the flower, and that gives us three options: manual focus, or autofocus, macro, and manual focus. So do manual focus, okay, and there we have it. Distance scale is over here on the right hand side, and we can adjust that by rotating the multi-selector wheel over here, and we're going to run that all the way up to infinity and then hit done or OK. The weather is looking good tonight for clear skies. I'm just waiting for the moon to rise, and sometime around midnight I think I'll go out, and it should be high in the sky. The clouds have come in, but we might catch something. Okay, we'll get to adjust the focus. Done. I think we got a little break coming up. Well, now we got a big cloud coming in. We may not get another chance. No, I think that's gonna be it for the night. Well, we'll pack it in. Maybe try tomorrow.